Now, gentlemen and ladies, what up? All right. So, what we're going to talk about today is a very exciting topic, one that I'm sure is the reason for all of us being here, myself included. It is, I might not use orange.
Not for money.
Use green.
How, I use purple, because it's different, and that's a key, which we'll talk about here in a second. How to make 100K in a year with Synergy Direct.
I'd be happy to make 100K in 2 years.
Would ya? Well, then if you follow half of this, I can guarantee that for you.
Well,
Well, all of it, you might just be an overachiever, which, hey, no one hates on an overachiever. You know what they say, the only people who hate on overachievers are... Ah, there we go. Damn right. All right, so...
I just don't like him, but go ahead.
All right, so how to make 100K with Synergy Direct? It's a very, very good question. One that I'm sure you've asked yourselves multiple times here. So there's a couple things that I want to cover. First thing I want to cover is who you need to be. Literally, guys, you will behave differently over the phone than you will in your normal day-to-day interaction. Until the mightiest of days comes, when the transfusion will be complete, you will fully be the person that you are developing into right here, right now. And every person that you talk to, you'll notice yourself doing tie-downs on them, asking open-ended questions, closing them, and you're not even real. I don't even realize when I'm closing someone right now, when I'm just talking to today. And then I just notice it after this, I'm like, wow, I just tied them down real quick. I close salespeople for me. It's hilarious. I go to buy a pair of shoes, tell them exactly what I'm looking for, tell them exactly the price range I'm looking for, give them all my hot buttons. I even start tying stuff down for them. I'm like, hey, look, I'll buy this today if I can get it for this price. Right? You can do it? Perfect. So, but right now, none of you are at that point. And so what we're teaching you is how to get to that point. Part of being that person is part of what's going to get you to that 100K a year. You've got to work smart, not just hard. It takes both in order to accomplish these types of financial goals. The second thing is what you need to look for. What do you need to look for? Who are you trying to find to maximize your time and maximize your income? Okay? Because, you can close anybody you want, but only a certain type of individual buys from you at the end of the call. The rest of them make you go through, this labyrinth of hoops of fire and all kinds of charades, and you still, at the end of all of that, are likely not to get them as a client. So, who are you looking for? Who do you need, or what do you need to look for? Who do you need to be? And the third thing, why it works this way. Because I'm sure you need explanations. If I'm going to tell you to change who you are, I'm sure you're going to say, well, why do I need to do that? So I'm going to give you the why. I'm going to tell you why, if you do these things, if you look for these people, why it's going to work for you. That way you can have the confidence to actually do it. So, first things first, let's talk about who you need to be. It's so important, guys. So vitally important that you convey yourself in a certain manner. Otherwise, you can do everything else right and still not get results. So, you got to have 3 things. Anybody can guess what they are?
Confidence, conviction, and enthusiasm.
All right, let me hear that again with those 3 things in mind. Ready?
Confidence, conviction, and enthusiasm.
Booyah! Shaka. Confidence, conviction. I threw a shaka in there. Damn straight I did. And for good reason, too. You guys had it. You had the confidence, conviction, enthusiasm when you said it the second time around. You need to have that at all times when you're cold calling these prospects. It's vital. I can't tell you why it's so vital. It just works. Just like I can't tell you why gravity works, but it does. And I know if you take a heavy object and you throw it off, it's going to do damage when it hits the bottom, because mass times acceleration equals force. If you have more mass times acceleration, you're going to have a bigger impact. Why does it work that way? I have no clue. And to be honest, no scientist does. But what we do know is that it does work that way. And that's really how all of our knowledge has come into being. Is we don't know why it rains, but we know how it rains. And it helps out the ecosystem here. So, we can't tell you exactly what about being confident, having conviction, having enthusiasm does, other than the fact that it creates the type of emotional response in the prospect that's beneficial for doing business and beneficial for persuasion. Literally, if you don't have those things, because it's contagious, just like having a bad attitude is contagious. You ever hang around a bunch of people who are just down all the time? It sucks. Hung out with this girl yesterday. She was such a downer. I was dying. I had to get her out. Had to get her out of my day, because she was bringing down my whole day. I was like, oh man, I gotta get you home, because I am not enjoying your company right now. What was that?
I said, did you run into my ex-wife?
Oh yeah. So, confidence, conviction, enthusiasm is contagious, guys. You want to feel good, and if you want them to feel good, you gotta feel good first, because that's what's going to transfer to the prospect. Cool?
Yes.
Second thing you need to be is a person who cares.
Genuine interest.
A person, genuine interest, as it's also known as.
Absolutely.
You gotta care about what these people are saying. So if they say, oh, no, John isn't here anymore, he died last year or 2 years ago, don't just run over that. Just be like, oh, okay, so who's running shows these days? No? You? Someone else? Be human. Care about stuff like that. If they say someone died, be like, oh my gosh, my condolences. Was it sudden? It's like, well, no, he lived to be 96. We were all wondering when he was going to kick the bucket. Came by no surprise. Be like, oh man, 96 is a hell of a run. You should be proud of the life that he lived. So who's running shop these days? You have way more rapport within those couple of sentences than you would have if you would have skipped over that little detail. Is that little detail all that important in what you're trying to accomplish? No. However, the genuine interest in the showing that you care is vitally important. So you must show that. And don't be cheesy or corny, caring about things that you know he's going to know you don't really care about. Care about things that actually matter. It's very important. So you got to be the person who cares. The next thing that you need to do is you have to be a marketing genius. You have to be a marketing genius. Okay? You guys are the ones who have the answers to all their problems. If you went into a doctor and you're sick, the doctor says, interesting list of symptoms. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with you. But try this. Sal, let me know how it works for you. He tosses you a bottle of pills. You are going to be very skeptical about taking those pills, because you don't feel a whole lot of confidence. And this is your health we're talking about. You take that very seriously. Well, that's how business owners view their business. So if you're not a marketing genius, if what you say is not making sense to them, just like if a doctor doesn't make sense to you for his explanation of why he's prescribing you the drug he's prescribing you, you are not going to feel all that much confidence yourself in going with his recommendation. But if he is a genius in the health arena, he's like, oh yeah, you have a very rare form of scoliosis, and you're going to need to take these. It's going to help fix your back right up. And call me in 3 months, and I guarantee you'll feel 10 times better. And I look forward to hearing about it.
So they don't say guarantee.
Well, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And sometimes doctors do say guarantee.
Sometimes, yeah.
But
Very
the
seldom.
bottom line is, you got to be a marketing genius. You have to have an explanation that you can stand behind with your confidence, conviction, and enthusiasm. Now, I know some of you don't have this part just yet, which is why I've done it in this order. Because anybody can have confidence, conviction, and enthusiasm right out the gate for no reason. I can get someone to care without having to teach them too much. Now, being a marketing genius is going to take some work on your end. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to be the guy who is reading on, searchenginewatch.com, who's popping on the CNBC.com, seeing what's going on with the stock market. Because this is important information that you can use to leverage against your clients and say, hey, look, you're so busy with your foot trying to get in your customer's door that you haven't even taken the time to look at the world around you. But I have. Now let me tell you what's going on. You got questions?
I was going to say, I was actually going to ask you, but I'll just wait till after. Seeing if we do engineering and stuff like that, sites for those type of businesses.
Yeah, but that's not our focus right now. So, you got to be a marketing genius. You got to be the guy that people are going to look at as the expert. That crazy guy in San Diego who every time he has a question on the internet, that person knows what's going on. Okay? You have to be that person. Most importantly, actually not most importantly, most important will be confidence, conviction, enthusiasm, to be honest with you. But almost most importantly, there's one more other thing that you have to be. Anybody can guess what it is?
Busy.
Huh! Thank you, Teddy.
Damn, you're busy.
Teddy knows. Teddy sat next to me and witnessed me as a rep for like 2-3 months. He saw what this was all about. I embodied
Or nothing.
what I'm showing you.
I'd love to be next to him as a rep.
Telling you, not everything's cracked up to be. Because Teddy is much happier with me as a manager now, helping him get deals, and worried about myself and me getting me deals.
Right?
So, busy though. You gotta be busy, guys. The best thing I can do to give you advice on being busy,
Be busy.
this is gonna be difficult, because it's contradictory to this.
Take it.
Stop caring too much about them. Okay? I want you to care, but I don't want you to care so much where you're going through the gauntlet of reschedules, and every time they flake on you, you're totally cool about it, and you're like, oh yeah, hey, no problem. This is the fourth time we've had to reschedule. That's all right. No worries. So this next time, better make it 2 times from now, we'll be able to get through this, right? No, guys. That's not who we are. It's not what we do. We care. But here's the thing. You have to be that guy who cares, but knows that not everybody is going to be, smart enough to pick up on this right away. Not everybody is going to hop on, and that's okay, because you're looking for the ones who are. You want to make them feel like they're missing out on something by not listening to you. The only way to make them feel that way is if you don't care too much, whether or not they listen to you, right?
Right.
You ever met someone who's really successful being like, oh my gosh, no, John, let's schedule this appointment for next week, John, no, you're so perfect for me. I don't need you, but come on. No. The guy's like, all right, John, you know what, if you don't see what I see right now, and you don't want to take the time to learn how I can do this for you, and I can do that for you, and I can do this for you, that's fine. Because I got to find, I'm so busy, I don't have time to waste with people who are not taking their business and what's going on with their business in 2012 seriously. I got to find the ones who are. Lucky for me, there's enough of them out there to where I can make a pretty good living doing it. But if you're not one of them, that's okay. That's why I take this approach. And I guarantee you, he will backpedal a little bit. Like, whoa, I care about my business. I'm just saying I'm super busy. And then I'll say back, look, I know you're super busy. I'm super busy too. But at some point in time, you got to evaluate what you're doing and prioritize a little bit. And based off of what you told me, I see definite ways I can help your business. I mean, what do you have on your books for the next week? I know you're not working 24/7 for this next week. You go to the grocery store or something? Maybe you can put Top Ramen on hold for a day and learn about how to grow your business, so maybe you can upgrade to, Healthy Choice. Another great microwave food. Whatever it may be, you want to let them know that, hey, I can help you if you want, but I'm not going to beg for you. Okay? You want to be busy, because busy is a pure sign of success. You ever met someone who's unsuccessful, who's super slam busy? No way. Unless they're on some kind of mind-altering drug where they think they have something going on, but they really don't. They're like, I'm busy, I gotta go somewhere, and they just take off. You're like, wow, that guy was on something crazy. So, you gotta be busy, because most people in business who are busy are extremely successful. And business owners, trust me, all they want to do is work with successful people. You think that if a business owner got a call from Donald Trump and he was going to do a free evaluation of the business, they would hang up on him?
Nope.
Hell no. No way. They're like, oh my God, Don. Hang on. Hang on. Honey, I got Donald Trump on the phone. I literally, I'm not even kidding you. It's so funny how people work. I literally did a call. And this has to do with being busy, but not 100%. I'm busy for the wrong reasons in this example. I call up a chiropractor. And I do a little prank call, a little bit. Call him up and I go, hey, this is Kelson. I need to talk to Dr. So-and-so now. And they go, well, he's with a patient. I go, I don't care if he's with a patient. I'm doing cash cab right now, and he's asking me medical questions that a chiropractor would know, and you showed up on my smartphone. Get him now, because I don't have time to call another doctor. She goes, oh my gosh, hang on 1 second. Puts the phone down. Doesn't put me on hold. Puts the phone down. I hear scuffling. I hear her run to the doctor. I hear her go, Dr. So-and-so. Kelson Penn's on the phone. He's on cash cab. He needs your help right now. And I hear, I'll be right there. And I hear him shuffling around to come onto the phone. I lost it. I couldn't keep my cool. I hung up on it. I couldn't keep it going. But the point of that whole story is the fact that for the right reasons, they'll put you higher on their priority list.
Yeah.
But you gotta convey yourself. This right here conveys someone who is different. They get 10, 15, 20 calls a day. And when they say I get 10 or 20 calls a day from people like you should be like, you don't get calls from anybody like me, John. I mean, I'm not even trying to sell you something today. That automatically eliminates 90% of the calls. And the other 10% are calling you for a survey anyway. So you don't get calls like me. You may think you do. But come on, John, don't insult what I do. Because that's not me. I'm not here to be those types of guys. I'm here to learn about your business, to see if I can truly help you or not. If I can't, hey, look, I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not trying to sell anybody, because at the end of the day, you know what will and will not work for your business, right? Love using that, because they always say yes. And I go, so then why would I waste my time showing something that I know you're not going to be on board with? And they go, good point. So this is someone who is different. Okay? So that's who you need to be. In a nutshell, these 4 things, it's not rocket science. You come through with confidence, conviction, enthusiasm. You're a person who cares. You're a marketing genius. And you're extremely busy because you have the best product in the industry. And you act accordingly. Okay? If you called up a bunch of cancer patients and you had the cure for cancer, are you going to wait for them to get back to you on a decision?
No.
Hell no. Dude, I'm the only guy with the cure to cancer. What's there to think about? You have no other choices. It's either my option or death. What are you going to pick? 9 times out of 10, they're going to pick your option. The other one, well, we can only do so much for everybody. So that's the way you need to convey yourself. Okay? Now let's talk about what you're looking for. Or what you need to look for. So you behave that way, guarantee that's the attitude to get $100,000 a year. Okay? Next is what you're looking for, okay? Now, the first thing that you need to find is single decision makers. Find one a day who's a single DM. I know it's tough. I know that a lot of times you say the wife and things like that. But you should find at least one decision maker who's all by them lonesome themselves. And it's like, yeah, it's just me. I make all the decisions. Got no partner, got no consultant, just me and the info, and I can make a decision. You want that because the more people involved, the more different opinions you'll have to persuade. And although I've had a lot of success closing 3, 4, 5 people all on one call, it's much easier to convince one mind than 5 or 4 or 3 or even 2. Right? How many times do you guys close somebody and one guy's on board and the other one's not? And the other one just has enough influence to stop the deal from going down right there on the spot.
That's like 85
Sure.
out of 100.
Absolutely. We all have. So with that in mind, we don't want to ignore them because I've had plenty of times where they're both on board. But at the same time, we want to find one open a day where it's just a single DM. Okay? Second thing you need to make sure that everybody has what?
Money.
Oh, absolutely. Like that great song goes. Money, 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 money. I was expecting you guys to hit me with the high end, but you guys didn't. That was horrible. So, they have to have money. So, real quick, off an offset, how do we find out they have money? What are some of the questions we can ask?
What are they doing? Marketing, advertising right now.
What are you currently investing in? Sure.
How much is your average client worth?
Yep.
How long they've been in business.
What expenses they have?
If they're in position to
how long
buy.
they've been in business isn't necessarily one. Because you can talk to a guy who's 30 years in business and he's run his business old school, and in the last 5 years it's been so bad that he has no money now.
If they love what you show them, are they in position to buy?
Sure, draw close. Anything else?
Well, you could ask them, if they got a franchise, if you know they have a franchise, and actually they got some money to pay for their business with the expenses.
Okay. Okay, what else?
The current investment per month.
What are you invested in already? I got that.
Okay.
What other companies do they own?
Maybe they own multiple businesses. Sure.
How big is the size of your crew?
Yep, number of employees.
How many jobs per month?
Sure. Average client job money-wise and numbers. We got both in there. So now, my follow-up question is this. How many people find this information out consistently on Open? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not many. You guys clam up. You get nervous. You get afraid that you're going to lose the Open if you ask him these questions too deep. Kelson, I don't want to ask him what his average revenue is because it makes me feel awkward. Well, guess what? Your feeling of feeling awkward is what's getting transferred to them. And that's what makes it awkward. But if you're confident, if you have conviction and enthusiasm, and you ask that like everybody has no problem telling you the answer, I guarantee you that that person on the other line will have no problem giving you the answer. You guys will have to wonder, how is it that I'm able to do some of the things I do over the phone? Right? And you guys are like, man, Kelson's some kind of crazy, psychic who gets in their heads and Jedi mind tricks them into doing these things. And that's actually not the case. I just speak with so much confidence, conviction, and enthusiasm, and I expect in my mind them to answer, because why not? Honestly, John, is someone really going to sabotage your business because they found out your average job is worth $150? Seriously? Come on. It's not a big deal. I just want to see where you're at compared to most people in the country. Because most carpet cleaners charge about $100 per room. I want to see how you compare. And I guarantee you, if they don't answer the first time, after you just make them feel like it's no big deal, they will answer it the second time. But you gotta check this out. Don't be afraid. Because there's no point in having an Open without that info. You want to make $100K a year? You gotta find this stuff out. You gotta find out if they have money. Specifically, that's how to do it. Okay? Now, the next one. Internet.
Knowledge.
Kinda. Internet intermediate. Which means that they have some knowledge on the internet. They have an email they send emails to. They understand and know what Facebook is. They don't have to be an expert. They can, but they don't have to be. But they have to have some internet knowledge. They have to. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll go through an entire presentation that's, a different language to them. You're going to say, yeah, Gotta be honest, I gotta think about it. Because nothing you said made any sense to me. Even though they agree with you the whole time. Because people are, by nature, passive-aggressive. So they're not going to tell you, I don't get it. One, because they don't want to feel like an idiot. And two, is they don't want to create conflict. They're afraid that you're going to be like, you don't get it? You don't get this? The internet? They're going to be like, getting smaller and smaller, feel, less and less of a human being. They don't want that. So they'll just be like, yep, makes sense. Just like the kid who was afraid to speak up in school when he doesn't get it because all the other kids are going to make fun of him.
Yeah.
Same thing. So we've been bred to do those things. So it's up to us, people who know better, to dig deeper and get them to tell us what they know. Because if they don't have any knowledge whatsoever, you got to be straight up and saying, hey, look, I got to be honest, I feel like I would be explaining things to you that you don't understand the basics of, and I'm afraid that I'm going to show you something you're not going to understand and you're not going to be able to move forward. So tell me why I should, show you this. And, they'll be like, hey, look, I don't get it, but I'll tell you this, I understand that there's value there, and if you can show me a way that just makes sense, I'll be more happy to move forward. But if they're like, well, the internet's never worked for me, yada, 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 and they just seem to be stuck in their ways, forget it. Move on. You don't have to try to open everybody, but we really are looking for a specific type of person. Okay? And so, in order to, this is who we're looking for, right? So with this person, I'm going to do a little numbers. I'm going to show you then why this works. Okay? So, if you do 10 prezos a week, okay, that's 2 a day. So, 2 a day. 2 a day. If you have 50% close rate, that would be, better yet, let's lowball it even more. Say 25% close rate. It's going to give you the total of 1 sale every other day. Okay? And I'm lowballing it here. Because trust me, guys, when you get into your groove, because none of you are in your groove yet. Nobody on the floor is in their groove yet with this new product. Everybody's just trying to find their rhythm. Find what works for them. Okay? 1 sale every other day is going to be a total of about 10 sales a month. Okay? Which is $8 grand. Okay, and then 75% of that, $6 grand. Okay? Now, to make $100K in a year, you have to make $8,333.33 per month. So, if we know we need to make that, and we're making at 10 sales, $6K a month, we're about $2,300 shy of making $100 grand. So, that means that we'll have to do about 1.5 maybe sales a day. So let's just do it by the weekly here. If we did 14 sales, what's 14 times 8? 14 times 8 is 80. It'd be 100, right?
No, 112.
112. Okay, you're right. 96 plus another. Yeah, you're right. I got screwed up. So 112. So 112. $11,200. Times this by 0.75. Anybody got a calculator on?
What are we times it?
By 0.75. 11,200 by 0.75.
11,000.
200.
Big crowd or something.
By 0.75?
Yes. Times it by 0.75.
That's 8,400.
Oh! All right. And we got time to take Mom out for a nice steak dinner. Okay? So, we got 14 sales times $7.99 equals 11,200 in CPO times 0.75 equals 8,400. Times this by 12, and what do you get?
$100,000 with 800. $100,800. Yeah.
So we'll just put 100K. Alright? So there it is. 14 sales. Okay? So that means sale every other day and a couple times where you got a sale every day. You know, maybe 4 times. Okay? But you have to understand that in order to do this, you're going to need the right attitude. You can't beat yourself up because you only got one open last week. Okay? Because that's not going to help you for your future. Okay? Don't let the negativity of your past affect the opportunity of your future. Okay? Because you can't change it. It happened. It is what it is. Hold yourself accountable to it. Find out why it happened. Find out what you can do in the past to prevent it from happening again. And grow from it. Let it go. Hanging on to it, being bitter about it, is not going to help you achieve this. I've never seen a negative guy be a rock star in sales, ever. Do you? Some of you guys have been in sales for 20 years, way longer than me. You ever seen like this guy who just hates life but is a sales rock star? No. Why? Because people buy from people they like. And nobody likes a guy who's always negative. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're trying to achieve this. Everybody got these numbers?
Yep.
Okay? So, now, the third thing was
Why it works.
why it works. That's right. Very simple. Why it works, number one, your attitude will make or break you. Be different. You gotta be different. You gotta stop, just like what we tell our prospects, right? John, you're a carpet cleaner. I mean, what separates you from all the other carpet cleaners out there? Why am I gonna pick you? It's the same thing. Why am I gonna go with Steve for my internet marketing? I got a guy locally who can do it. I get calls all the time from people who say they can do this, they can do that. So why am I gonna go with you, Steve?
I'm different.
Oh! Well, how are you different?
Oh, well, several ways, Kelson, but I'll get into that another time.
All right, I like it. So, be different. Because your attitude will make or break you. It is a double-edged sword. It will either cut your enemy down or you'll cut yourself down. I just referred to the prospects as an enemy. That is awesome.
Well,
So,
yeah,
busy equals success. Period. Okay? Find one buyer a day. And I'm going to refer back to, if you find one buyer a day, one guy who definitely will buy every day, just one. That's a deal a day. And I just showed you, doing less than a deal a day, how you can make $100,000 a year. Less than a deal a day. A deal a day would be 20 deals in a month. 20 times 8 is, that's 16,000 in CPO. 75% of that is 12,000. Times that by 12, that's $144,000 you'd make a year.
That's a lot of steak dinners for mom.
Deal of day.
Mom will be dying of heart attacks
She might just
if I'm feeding her that much steak dinner. Okay?
Deal of day. That's it.
Find one buyer a day. One. All you gotta find. Okay? And it's going to work because Kelson said so, that's right. No, it's going to work because you will have a great product. You have the leads. You have the training. You have the resources. And, yes, you have the support. A little and there, and the support. Guys, you have all these things. And I guarantee you, you're not conveying yourself in this manner. Like you truly feel you have these things. Dude, kidding me? Facebook, follow-up system, database building, website, and Google AdWords. All for $7.99.99 a month. I argued with Kyle and SK about this price point. I wanted to charge them more on the monthly. I wanted to say $199, discounted from $399, because that's what companies charge. But they were like, no, we can always raise the price later. Let's go in now, make a splash, sell the hell out of these things, and then down the road, once we've really created a foothold in the market, we can raise the price. So you have the product. You have the leads, guys. Don't believe the prospect when they tell you. I get calls from you guys all the time. They are absolutely bullshitting you. I have 22,000 carpet leads. You really think that we called everybody in 3 days?
Alright.
No way. You think we called them in 3 months? No. And the ones who are actually telling the truth, the reason why they get pulled up fast is because they keep answering their goddamn phone. Our dialer calls 5 people at once. The first one to answer is the one you get. So if that guy says, I don't need help, I don't need your business, why do you keep answering the phone looking for business then?
I like
That's
that one.
it.
Right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be that way. Okay? We have the leads, we have the training, guys. I'm teaching you everything I know. When I got involved in sales, nobody taught me anything. I had a guy named Lance Johnson. He was a mortgage broker. Thought he was the best salesman on the planet, like most salespeople do. And, looking back now, he absolutely knew nothing. He knew nothing. The only thing he knew that had any type of validity was the fact that the longer you keep them on the phone, the more likely they are to buy. Which is true to an extent, until I crossed into friend report territory and I got lost there for another 2 months, and then I came back and I'm like, alright, well hey, I've gone over there. I've talked to these guys for hours, and they don't buy from me. And I figured out, oh, I get it. They feel awkward when I ask for money. So I got to talk to them, get them to talk to me, but talk about business only. And then all of a sudden, I figured it out. I figured out how to sell. And I just, boom, started popping them up. I sold 35 deals in 1 month, less than 20 selling days. Okay, so I was doing more than a deal a day. Things just started clicking for me. But it was a tough road. I mean, I didn't sell anything, not one deal, for 3 months. 3 months. You know what kept me going? 100K in a year. Because I didn't see any other way I was going to make that type of money. I wasn't going to go back to school and be a doctor. I wasn't interested in having to work the corporate ladder, the traditional way most people do to make that type of money. I wanted to make good money, and I want to make it now. And the fastest route to doing that was in sales. So I refused to accept anything less than success. And I studied my ass off. Was learning all the time. I was practicing outside of work. I was calling up Lance at the time, trying to get advice from him. That didn't really help that much. So, you guys you have to understand that sales is going to be a roller coaster ride. Filled with ups and downs. Okay? But if you want to maximize the ups and minimize the downs, You have to learn to focus on what you can control and approaching it with the right attitude and the right strategy, which is what I covered today. Talked about how you need to be in order to make this effective. Talked about what you need to look for. And now I talked about why it would work. Okay? Is there any question?